In last week's video, I acquired, by completely legal means, a 10-year supply of pocket notebooks. Consider this week's video a sequel. So over a decade worth of pocket notebooks is essentially worthless without some sort of writing tool. That's where the pen comes in. This pen, to be exact. The metal-barreled Sharpie S-Gel with 0.7mm tip. Heavy, robust, sleek, beautiful, all these things a pen should be. But as heavy, robust, sleek, and beautiful as it is, it costs anywhere from $5 to $10 for 2 pens. That's absurd. I could, by completely legal means, get 100 cheapo pens or cheapo pencils for that cost. But I don't care. This pen, these pens, are just too darn great. So why don't I use just a cheap pencil or a cheap pen to write things down? Why must I use the most expensive pen I can find? My reason? I don't like the cheap pens as much. And pencils, well, let's just say I don't think they're very realistic. But Garrett, wait! You can't erase with a pen. What if you make a mistake? Okay. I have a fundamental disagreement with pencils. Hear me out. Remember in school whenever you were only ever allowed to use pencils and never allowed to use pens? I wonder why that was. Okay, obviously there's many logical reasons for this, but on the surface you just can't erase a pen, so they didn't want you to use it. But why is not being able to erase such a big issue? How does the ability to erase make anything better? I have a theory. See, with a pencil, you can erase any and all mistakes you might make while writing. And that's pretty great. That even sounds like it might be able to improve your writing somehow. Imagine a life where we could completely erase our mistakes from existence. Doesn't matter how many times we mess up, we could just erase it and carry on. No lessons learned, no realities faced, just a lot of doing and undoing and doing again. That's using a pencil. That's impermanence. Okay, now imagine a life not totally unlike our own. We can't erase our mistakes, no matter how hard we try. In an attempt to erase our mistakes, we smear and we tarnish our environment, yet the mistake still remains. These mistakes cannot be undone. However, in this particular life, we can acknowledge the permanence of our actions. If we make a mistake, do somebody wrong, do ourselves wrong, we may not be able to erase it. But what we can do is learn from these mistakes. By acknowledging our mistakes and our mess-ups, we have a much better time of improving and using these mistakes, these mess-ups, for good, for betterment. Now that's using a pen. That's real life. So the reason I use a pen instead of a pencil is because I would rather have a more real and a more raw writing experience instead of having to go back and fix everything and, think too much about it. I just would rather, when I'm writing one of these videos or just writing in general, I would rather have it come out to the paper as it was initially intended, not as I edited it in my head. I think of it and I write it. And then if I want to change it later or immediately after, I just write it again. Or write it again, but write it differently, or something. It's not go back and fix it, because then you don't see, with the erasing, you don't see this process that happens. And that process is one of the best parts of writing, is you're finding that voice. You're finding how you like and how you best express ideas. So instead of having the ability to erase, the ability to make everything seem perfect, I would rather use a pen. This pen, to write. This pen allows me to get my ideas out purely, as they are, without changing them. This pen is as directed... Hold on. My pen just ran out of ink. I'm literally writing this video. And my pen completely out of ink. I've never done that with a gel pen before. Look at that. There's actually no ink left in that. Wow. pen is a direct transfer of ideas from brain to paper. The ideas run from my brain, down my neck, through my shoulder, down the length of my arm, drip into my hand and out my pen, onto paper. So with the pen, there is no erasing. When I'm writing, there is no going back and erasing and, fixing. There's just writing. And if there's something that I don't like, I'll just write the same idea again, but in a different way to where I might like it a little bit better. So imagine if I just wrote with a pencil all the time. I would, first of all, never fill up a pocket notebook because I would just erase, and I would use a page and fix the page and then write another sentence and then fix it, shorten it, do a bunch of different things to it. Having that overabundance of ability to edit something that you've written, it can be a crutch. It can be something that, it seems on the surface as a good thing, but in reality, it's holding us back. As creative people, we need to be able to fluidly and without interruption express our ideas and get our ideas down. That's why I love the pocket notebook, and that's why I love the pen. No pencil, no nothing. The pen. Because before my ideas are anything, they are ink in this pen. I stole that from Van Neistat, but he uses pencils and we don't do that around here. And two, there's a lot of times where I'll be writing an idea down, and halfway through writing it, I'm like, I don't really like how this turned out. But I commit to finishing the idea, to finishing the thought, writing it to completion. That way, I can fully understand whether or not I actually like it. But if I was writing something with a pencil, I would get halfway through it and be like, I don't like this. So then I'd erase it, and then whatever that seed was for that idea is completely gone. There is no more, that idea doesn't exist anymore. Even the fragmented part of it that I had already written, from its original state, it is gone forever. In one of Van Neistat's videos, he talks about why he uses a typewriter over a computer to write, to type. And his reasoning for that reminds me a lot of why I use a pen instead of a pencil, because he doesn't like using the computer because you can backspace. You can type all this stuff and then you realize it's not really what you want to say, so you backspace and you erase it and then you change it. Instead of with the backspacing or the erasing of the thing, you take away what is your voice and you replace it with the attempt to be perfect. So in an attempt to find my voice, to follow it, I use a pen. I allow myself, in my writing, to be imperfect. As a matter of fact, the ending of this video I have rewritten because I felt like my initial draft just didn't tie itself together very well. But that's okay. That's life. We try, we fail, we try again, and maybe we succeed. I don't want to be perfect. In my life, in my creativity, in my work, or whatever. I want to be sloppy, messy. I want to use a pen because that's how life is. And that's how I am the most creative. There's beauty in mistakes. There's clarity in sloppy handwriting. I use a pen, a Sharpie S-Gel with metal barrel, transplanted 1.0 millimeter tip, now with full ink, and it's the only tool that I'll ever need.